Is the pipeline about lowering America's energy costs? Evidently not. Even its supporters admit that much of the oil in the pipeline would be exported for use outside the United States. So it's not about jobs. It's not about energy. Why is this bill so urgent? The answer is money. Money and power.
4 more votes. That's all it will take for the Senate to secure the passage of the Keystone Pipeline with or without a presidential signature. Another excuse for the Obama administration, meantime, is gone. The Nebraska Supreme Court cleared the route of the pipeline through their state. Now Speaker John Boehner and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say enough with the stalling. Joining us now on MidPoint, she is the refining manager at the American Petroleum Institute. Cindy Schild joins us. Cindy, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Cindy, there is the question I think that everybody has. Why is this pipeline still important? And you have those on one side saying it's all about money. Others say it's all about political favors. Gee, there's even some who say it might be good for America. What is the Petroleum Institute stand on this?
We certainly support the last of your three. I think if you take each of them independently from the money aspect, certainly you're not looking for subsidies. This is private investment to bring a secure supply from our top ally, Canada, as well as our own domestically produced oil, down to our state-of-the-art refining center where we can add more value to a raw good and make it into valuable fuels products that consumers use every day. So that is one thing that's important. Certainly the energy security, jobs, and economic security is a factor. And, you know, when you look at the politics of this, I mean, everybody's laughing. So regardless of the politics or state. So I'm really, really pleased to see that our Congress is moving forward again. We have the Congress, we have the House with the 10th bill passed last week, and now we've got a Senate moving forward finally on another one. This process is completed. It is the most thoroughly studied pipeline in history that has time and time again been shown to not cause environmental harm and be built to a safety degree above all any other pipelines. And that's declared by the State Department. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward. We certainly support the congressional actions.
If the API and the GOP, I love putting all these initials in here, if they all want to basically push the president back into an untenable corner, do they need to say, here we have it, Democrat, Republican, here's the truth of the matter, here's Nebraska, which I even pointed out a couple of minutes ago, that's now out. You're out of excuses, Mr. President. What would be his possible excuse now? But okay, we know what his excuse would be. What about the logical excuse why he would say, I'm still going to veto it? And how do you defeat it?
You know, great questions. And if this were based on logic or the merits of this pipeline, it would have been decided long ago. If it was based on the support and a president who supported the will of the American people, this president would have decided to approve the pipeline a long time ago. I wish I could forecast, or maybe I don't wish I could forecast, what exactly could be the next excuse. There has been a litany that has done nothing but delay the benefits that this pipeline can bring to consumers as well as the jobs that it will bring to our construction industry at a time where their unemployment rate continues to lag over the national average.
All right, now what about those, and again I'm going to play devil's advocate on this, and I'm sure you've heard these arguments, but the American people continue to ask this question. They will say that the energy that is coming to the pipeline is not going to ever get to American shores, that it's simply going from Canada out to export, that's it. Doesn't really help us. We're independent enough without this pipeline, so then why would we need it to help our energy independence?
You know, between U.S. and Canada, we have the ability to be energy secure for our liquid fuels needs in 10 short years. We need both. There's different types of oils, different types of refineries, and we need the infrastructure. We have a president who put that out as a priority. We have a president who put reducing our deficit a priority. You have opportunities here, but first and foremost, those fuels are going to be made for American consumers, but you are seeing a difference in the exchange of exports and imports.
But let me interrupt you if I can. How are the fuels being used for American consumers if the fuel is going for export?
So it's a crude pipe. All in all, when it connects to the southern leg, which was already fast-tracked, a part of the initial pipeline application, this will bring oil from Canada and our domestic plain states down to refineries in the Gulf where it will be made into more valuable products. This is not a pipeline that's going to export crude oil. This has been established by the State Department and experts alike. You don't build 1,700 miles of underground pipe just to export it. You can do that through Canada, through the east or west coast, and it is important to remember that this Keystone Pipeline has become a symbol. It should be noted that there are 5 other major proposals or projects in the works to get this oil, Canada's oil, to the east and west coast of Canada, as well as an expansion of an existing line to bring it to the Gulf. So don't let your viewers be fooled that this is just one pipeline and the only opportunity. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency said this oil is coming out of the ground. It's just about how to get it to market. We have other countries looking out for their energy futures. It's Canada's largest source of GDP. It's not staying in the ground. This is about the ability to provide greater security. When you have less uncertainty, when you have less political strife, all these things are good for consumers. And when you add on the economic benefits, for our trade relationship with Canada, 90 cents is returned to the dollar, and that doesn't happen with any other of our trade.
Isn't that more about what it is, that money you just talked about here? Because there are studies that show over and over again that any of the oil that comes through this pipeline will not actually lower the price of gasoline in America.
So prices are going to be, it's a global market, so it's going to start from the #1 contributor to the cost of the component at the pump is crude oil. So crude oil dictates, right now that's low, you've seen it gone lower. When we had a few other political unrests and some issues going on in the Middle East, in the Ukraine, you saw our production. It had was a big contributor to not elevation of prices at the time. So having those secure supplies do add to the energy security and national security benefits of this pipeline.
You believe then, I got about 30 seconds left, that all the money and effort put in here is worth it, instead of going, as some would say, for more clean energy?
I think we could do a look back and see how much more was spent on the politics and delays and what that has cost American consumers and the labor community that's been waiting to put this pipeline together for a long time now, over 6 years and counting. So wish nothing but the best and support for the Congress today to move this forward, and hope the president reconsiders his presidential veto threat.
Politics and delays, 2 words that go together all the time inside the Beltway. We know that from experience. Cindy Schild, I want to thank you so much for bringing some facts to this. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The Daily Tussle with Bulls and Bears from Wall Street after the break. And our next hour, all the rage in California, letting non-vaccinated kids run rampant and spread disease. It's all coming up on MidPoint.